Good morning. Another beautiful day in New York City. It's almost getting to look like California. In fact, our weather is similar to Southern California, according to one of my cousins. What we got here, they got there. No longer the everlasting blue skies. We're seeing it here in New York. That's global warming. That's what we should all be talking about. Global warming, entrepreneurs, creating jobs, not the culture wars. And it looks like the culture wars might be on the way out. The extreme right hasn't gotten its people into power anymore. In fact, they're pretty marginalized on the debt ceiling. And that debt ceiling looks like, as I'm recording this, it's going to pass. So, cliffhanger, no more. What will happen? We'll see. I still think there'll be a lot of money for research and development, renewables, infrastructure, education, and legal fees. In every one of the states that have imposed extreme gerrymandering of districts, there are now about 75 lawsuits. Many of them are pending still, but the ones who have been successful have been adjudicated in favor of map fairness. After all, a good many of our states are not all Republican or red or blue. They're purple. And it's now being acknowledged as purple. So, when the people act, guess what? We win. And the country wins. Because we can get off of doing harm to each other and actually concentrating on what's important. Number one on my list is education. Having people educated, giving them jobs, giving them a future, letting them have food security. Speaking of food security, with glacial warming, especially in Greenland, they're finding out that when the glaciers warm because of the planet heating up, there's something called rock flour underneath it, the slurry that forms under the glacier. There's enough rock flour in Greenland to spread over every single agricultural area on our planet. And that's pretty impressive. But what's more impressive is that rock flour, which is, like flour, just like we think of flour when you're baking. That creates nutrients for the plants, gives them excessively high yields, and they've done it with corn, I think barley, and several other products. It's being tested here in America and in the EU and in the Netherlands. And it works. And better than crop yield is it traps the CO2 in the atmosphere. It just tamps it all down. And it is literally sequestered and forms other products that are helpful for vegetable and fruit growth. That, to me, is a clever innovation. And we should be concentrating on clever innovations. In Israel, they're developing in the Negev another diagnostic test for tumors. And what they're using is a protein, an inhibitor of cell division. They tested against the initial pathology that a person may have when that tumor is detected, and they determine whether or not that tumor will respond to immunotherapy. If it does, then they use the person's own cells to attack the tumor. Hasn't reached production and scale up yet, but when it does, what a boon to patients. No more chemotherapy and radiation with its dreadful, dreadful side effects. This is using your own body to combat cancer. And unfortunately, because of our way of life and the pollution in our air and the use of fossil fuels and petroleum chemicals, there's a lot of cancer all over America and in the world. It's still a world governed by the Fortune 500. They control 70% of the labor force and 83% of the market cap of our country, and probably most other countries too. But there's room, lots of room for entrepreneurs. I've been waiting for a windfall to somehow set up a foundation to help entrepreneurs. But perhaps we can do it right here on this platform. My editor is trying to sell clothing. That's his passion. And so I think it might be a good idea if we sell his product on the YouTube. And if you guys would buy his t-shirts or his pants, 10% would come to the channel, and I would have more money to interview and help fund other entrepreneurs with interesting ideas. One of my thoughts that I have always wanted to see, and nobody's done it yet, is a couple of apps. I'd like apps developed that could link jobs in every city with job applicants. I don't know how we do it, but I understand that there's a template out there that was worked up in LA. I'd have to go back to my pre-pandemic notes to find the template, but it can be done. Would it take work? You bet. But imagine there are so many people who are not in the job market and should be in the market. They would provide the expertise that we need in IT and in all the service industries where it's necessary to have managers to guide the millennials, and also have the expertise and the knowledge to understand the products that they're working with. There's no reason that is it GenX, the 50-year-olds, have been left out of the marketplace, and it seems like it's either the baby boomers or the poor millennials that are being worked to death and trying to do jobs that they're really not qualified for. So that's one idea. The other idea would be an app to look at the algorithms and the AI that determine whether or not somebody is eligible for a job. If they can write these things to exclude people, well, we could be able to find out perhaps what are the code words that these algorithms are looking for, so that people can write in the right code words and get around the recruiters and get a foot in the door. Remember, unemployment numbers reflect only those folks who are looking for jobs. Doesn't reflect people who are just no longer in the market because of their age, their gender, their politics, who knows what. But I'd like to see entrepreneurs, and I'd like to support entrepreneurs. So if you're interested, write me at thevoiceofjoyce@earthlink.net. Put your idea out there and get some money for you. Sure, I know there's Kickstarter and there are other companies out there, but perhaps this will lend a voice to entrepreneurs additionally and give them some startup money. I've always wanted to do that. I always admired the microbanks of India. I thought it was a wonderful idea. And doing something that's crowdsourced from a base of people who are interested in good ideas, not cutthroat at all, but welcoming to the entrepreneur. So help me, help others, and let's see what we come up with. Next week, I'm going to be broadcasting from Detroit. I'm going to a glass exposition at Habatat Galleries in Troy, Michigan. I haven't been there since the pandemic. It's almost 4 years, or it probably is 4 years. I'm looking forward to seeing the artists that I know and the production, the artwork that they've come up with during the pandemic. It was hard for them too. Their artwork, for some of them, went inward because that's how they felt, isolated from the world. It was hard for those of us who are creative. We didn't realize it then, but the isolation just was, in fact, devastating. Now, I feel we're all ready to bloom again and come up with new ideas. And doing so, we can solve our problems. And I'm hoping that more people are interested in solving problems. Whatever we want, whether it's standards of care, unionization, fair maps, you name it, we can get it when we're united together for a common purpose. Let's do that for the entrepreneurs in our society. We don't want to be stifled by the Fortune 500. We need growth and ideas. Thank you for listening. See you next week.